Okay everyone, so today I'm going to make my apple cider filled chocolates, and my apple cider caramel filled chocolates, and I've made my apple cider caramel using freeze-dried apple cider. So make sure you check out my video on how I made the caramel. I'll leave a link in the description below the video. What I'm doing now is I got my chocolate mold and cotton ball, and you're supposed to polish these, which I've already done one, but I'm just doing it again for the camera, with the cotton ball so that you get a nice shiny chocolate out of that. I did do this successfully. I wasn't very neat at it, I was kind of messy, so I'm going to try and be a little bit cleaner this time. But this is the chocolate I had left over, so I'm going to use it. And it's still good. Still tempered, I guess you'd call it. And the way I'm tempering this is, you can see there's a lot of videos on the internet, on YouTube, on how to temper chocolate in the microwave, and that's the method I'm using. I do have another bar here just in case I get that too hot, because if you get it too hot, then the way to cure it is to add a little bit more of your chocolate to bring the temperature down, and it aids in the crystallization. So what I'm going to do is put this in. Actually, I think I'll put a little bit of this bar in there. The reason being is I know I use quite a bit of that chocolate, and whatever I don't use, I just can seal back up in a bag, and it'll keep until the next time I use it. So I think I'll put half of this bar in there. Just to have some fresh chocolate in that. Okay, so we're going to put this in the microwave. We're going to do it in short bursts. To start out with, I'll do 30-second bursts, but as it gets warm, we shorten that down to very short bursts, because you do not want it to get too hot, or else it won't temper correctly. You want just enough to melt. I'll show you. So that was 30 seconds. And it don't look like it's done much, but we're going to stir it, because you've got to keep this moving. From everything I've read, believe me, I am not a pro on this, but I did do it last time and it came out good enough. I feel confident enough to do it on video. Just all your professional chocolatiers out there, don't complain to me. Tell me how I'm doing it wrong, because I'm sure you guys have a much better technique. Okay, that's been 1 minute, and it's starting to melt. I'm using a silicone spatula for all you people that hate me for using spoons. Although this is a small one. I need to buy me some, I guess, some more. Okay, that's starting to soften up nicely, but it's not there yet. So I'm going to do one more 30-second blast. What we're doing when we're stirring this, we're distributing that heat that's stored into the chocolate through all the chocolate and the bowl. Actually, a lot of people recommend using a plastic bowl, but I don't really have a good enough plastic bowl, so I'm having to settle for my glass bowl. But the reason you don't really want to use a glass bowl is because the glass will store the heat. So as you can see, there's just little chunks left in there, and we are very close because you don't want to cook it too much. I think the temperature is like 95 degrees or something. You want to get it anything over 95 and then it won't temper correctly. So I'm just going to put it in there for 10 seconds now. Hopefully I got enough in there. If not, I'll add some more. Okay, so I still have just a little few lumps in there right now, which is perfect if we can get it to dissolve by just stirring this until it melts what little chunks are left. And apparently those chunks that are left are cool enough to where it starts the crystallization, and they got special terms for it. I can't remember what they are, but those start combining and crystallizing from those chunks, and that's what gives you your temper to where it snaps. And as I can see, that's all melted now. I see a spot of something on my mold here, so I'm going to get rid of all that. Make sure it's nice and clean. Alright. Now you'll have to forgive me, I'm going to use a metal spoon, because I can control it just a little bit better, I think. And all we're going to do is fill those molds with chocolate. You don't have to fill them all the way up, but you want pretty much a lot of it. Looks like I might have enough. Okay. So we want to try and tap that down, and then we're going to try and scrape that and fill all the molds as best we can. And anything that's short, I'm going to go ahead and top up. I could have probably used a little bit more chocolate. We'll see if we can make this work. So scrape that off into our bowl. Give it a nice tap. And now what I'm going to do is take this and dump it back into the bowl. And that's where I'm not very good at it, so I'm pretty messy compared to the professional chocolatiers. I'm going to scrape it one more time to try and get a clean edge. And then I want to dump it upside down on my table like that. And we're going to leave that sit for about 3 minutes, I think. And it should set to hard. We can check some of this once it sets and make sure that I tempered that well. They say if it sets in about 2 or 3 minutes that your temper is good. So we'll see you in 2 minutes or 3 minutes. Just let that sit. Okay. So we can see that it set up pretty nicely on my table here. Hopefully it's all right. So let's pull it off of that. No, it still hasn't set up yet. I'm gonna stick that in the fridge or in the freezer for about a minute or two just to firm that up a bit. Okay. Now while that's doing that, I am going to go ahead and put this other half a bar in there. I just did 15 seconds. I'm going to do another 15 seconds. Alright, I'm going to try one more burst of 10 seconds. Let's see what happens. I don't see any chunks in there now, so I'm thinking that might be good. Well, there's a little bit there, but let's set that aside. Let's get my caramel. Okay, those have set up nicely. And this is my homemade Apple Cider Caramel. I stored this in the refrigerator and it was really thick, so I stuck it in the microwave for, I don't know, 20 seconds or something and thinned it out a little bit. And it got really thin, so I stuck it back in the refrigerator. Now we are ready to pipe this in to that mold. See if I can pour it in there. You want to leave enough room on the top so that your chocolate can totally seal. Some of these I'm getting a little bit full actually. Alright, tap that down. Clean up some more mess off of here. Give this another stir. Take my spoon and do the same thing we did before and just top those off. It should take a lot less chocolate this time. I got plenty of chocolate. I was worried about that. All right. Give that a tap. A tap and a scrape. Make sure you got all the molds full. And I'm going to just leave it at that. You can see a little bit there I missed. Maybe if I use this. Well, we'll just leave it like that. I don't want to tempt fate. So I'm going to stick that in the freezer for, and I'll see you then, and then we'll pop them out. Okay, so I didn't get the bottom of those as smooth. These are the ones I did my first trial. And actually I think I did better on them than I did on this one. I think what I did wrong on this batch was once I made the hollow cups, I was supposed to scrape that flat, and I didn't do that. I'll show you that one. You never want to handle chocolates with your hands because you'll leave fingerprints on them. Here's ones I did earlier. A few days ago actually. But this has been in the freezer for about 20 minutes and it should just pop right out. like that. And you don't want to touch these, like I say, with your warm hands, because you'll leave the fingerprint on them. But aren't those pretty? We'll zoom in on them here in a minute. And that's it. I'm happy with that so far. That's come out really well. Zoom in on that. See if I can do that from this side of the camera. Check those out. Nice and shiny. Got a good gloss to them. Alright, let's zoom back. Something reasonable. Let me get a knife. Let's cut into one. I'm going to do it on the... Oh yeah. Nice crunch. Let's see if I can zoom in on that. Check that out. Don't that look good? Let's do a taste test on that. Oh my God. Those are so good. A nice dark chocolate. A tart apple taste to the caramel. Couldn't ask for better. I'm super happy with this. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you're interested in making it, check out the video on how I made the caramelized apple cider, which is, I use freeze-dried apple cider. I'll put a link in the video description below, but check that out. That is so beautiful, so delicious. I'll see you next video.